in addition to the Olympics and all these other big events going on, we have Comic-Con upon us right now in San Diego. That's the big one, right? San Diego.
Oh, that's
Comic-Con. Huge. Chris Demm called this a nerdgasm.
Well, they're having a moment right now. I mean, look at the movie theater. Look at the box office.
Yeah.
Well, what did Deadpool and Wolverine set the record for the biggest box office opening for an R-rated movie ever? Was it 250 million, something like that?
No, 203, 208, something like that.
Enormous box office. Now, that's one where, you know how I don't know who celebrities are? Dave Grohl in the picture with
Example
my friend. Sure. All right, example A. I didn't know who Dave Grohl was. Now, I will say this. My wife and I were watching some entertainment show on Friday night, and they were doing an interview with Hugh Jackman and Ryan Reynolds. And they kept talking about Deadpool and Wolverine. And my wife said, what is Deadpool and Wolverine? What's going on with this? And I was like, well, this is going to be a pretty big movie. And she's like, should I care anything about these two? And I was like, well, they're pretty big stars. And she said, you know who these two are? And I was like, well, I know a little about it.
Did you feel kind of superior?
I felt pretty good about it. I was like, yeah,
you got her on that
I feel
one.
like I know who these two are. She goes, you've heard of Deadpool and Wolverine. I said, yeah, it's a Marvel movie. And I haven't seen them.
Yeah,
I said,
no.
you know, I don't watch, not my thing, but that's a pretty big deal that they're out there this weekend.
Maybe you ought to keep her away from entertainment tonight.
Yeah, well, that's enough. Entertainment Tonight.
No, that's where she gets her news.
When it starts, she never knows who the celebrities are. You know, they'll start talking about so and so, and she'll be like, "What in the world?" Well, she did that with.
She wants more from the Alec Baldwin trial.
Right.
That's what she wants.
And she did that thing with this movie, and I said, I'd be careful about this one because this movie.
No one's going to see it. I know Hollywood. And something called Deadpool and Wolverine.
I know. What she said.
Yeah.
Exactly. By the way, I witnessed the most macabre bet last night. My sister-in-law and her family were over, and I did not know anything about this, but apparently there was a plane crash and a gospel singing group was killed on the way to Alaska. You all see this story?
Yeah.
I did see the headline, 3 members of the same family?
Yes,
Yeah.
it's tragic. It was terrible. And the name of the family is the Nealon family, Nelon. I had never heard of this before. Now, it was an absolute tragedy. So my sister-in-law said they were talking about it, and she said, yeah, the group's called the Nelson family. And my wife said, no, it's not Nelson, it's Nealon. And my sister-in-law said, I'll bet you $25 that it's Nelson. And I said, ladies, let's not.
Let's take the temperature down a couple degrees.
A little bit here.
Let's don't
the
trade.
gravity of the story.
I said the gravity here, and my wife said, it's Nealon, and I'll be happy to take your $25. And my sister-in-law Googled it and turned it to me, and it said Nelson, member of the Nelson family, killed in plane crash. And my wife said, I don't care what you've Googled. I know that's wrong. And I said, let me see your phone there to my sister-in-law, because
That was the evidence.
the evidence. Well, that was a plane crash from 1985.
Ricky Nelson.
Ricky Nelson.
He also sang.
Yep, he did.
Yes. Ricky
He
Nelson.
died on New Year's Eve.
That was it.
And he was a
on the
member.
air.
That's right.
He was
I
a member
on
of the
radio.
Nelson family.
That's
Yes.
right. So my sister-in-law, I said, do you mind if I hold your phone there for a second? And I just looked and I said, you realize this is from 1985? She, what? Well, what she had Googled was Nelson plane crash.
Of course. That's what's going to come up.
Her
course that's
phone
gonna come.
autocorrects it too, I'm sure. Oh, no,
She
no, yeah. She thought it
Googled
was
Nelson plane crash.
That's the one.
Yeah.
And so I said, and my wife said, what you should do, you moron, is Google, plane gospel family prank. Because as soon as I did that, Nealon came up. I'd already seen that. So my sister-in-law said, well, I owe you 25, but I was sure I was right.
Well.
And I said, ladies, again, this is not something we should be betting over here.
Yeah.
This has just happened.
The A-Train say, I
You
take
can
Venmo.
Venmo.
I
You
take
can
Venmo. No need to wait.
Yeah, there's no, I'll get you later.
In fact, I can have
Not
it in
now, yeah.
I can have it in minutes.
Just tap my phone here.
Yep. You can't use that one anymore. I don't have any cash on me. You got your phone.
Not that family.
No, that's right. That's true. That's true. That's another one. My wife is planning. We have a little couples beach trip coming up in a month and a half, couple of months. Chris Demm's on it. We do this every year, Always playing chicken with the hurricanes. You know how we do. You know how we do.
Always.
In September. Well, my wife, she rents the house, and then everybody pays her. Well, Diesel was last with the payment because Diesel writes a check.
And puts it in the mail. Get my forever stamp here. Put that over here in the corner.
This segment just keeps getting older.
I know you can smell it. It's aging.
Now,
in front of you.
everybody else does a Venmo or a Zelle. But Diesel likes to write a paper check. And
Pay to the order of and 97 cents.
Memo line.
That's a fact.
What can I write?
Well, finally, he got the check to us. And within 3 seconds, my wife had taken a picture of the check and deposited it.
I post-dated that. I was hoping you wouldn't put that in on Monday.
Well, I saw the Diesel, my dear friend, the next day, and he said, I couldn't help but notice she really got that in the bank. Quickly, how did she do that? I said, well,
Saturday hours?
you know.
No.
She's part witch.
No.
She floats over the bank and it deposits.
Deposits in. I said, no, now you can take a picture. What? You can take a picture of
And
the
it goes in at
check,
midnight.
and it goes
Yep,
right
right
in
in.
there. That's
Yep.
exactly what she did.
You mean she didn't get in the car and drive down the street?
Put it in the tube.
Yeah.
And now she's threatening to say to everyone, I now only accept electronic payment. I said, you can't do that to the Diesel. He's old school. You know how Diesel is. He won't use an app or anything like
He's
that.
the last
yeah.
of the.
You're right.
He's going to have to ride that grandfather clause
He
in.
writes it out. That's right. I totally agree. Here's the news from Comic-Con. As you said, they're having a moment because of Wolverine and Deadpool, which was a huge, huge box office weekend. They have announced who will be playing a new character, a villainous character, Doctor Doom. They unmasked this person at Comic-Con. Well, I'll go ahead and tell you, the person that's going to play Doctor Doom in upcoming movies is Robert Downey Jr. Now, I don't know this world, but I thought he was Iron Man. How can he be Doctor Doom? How can he play both? It's
Iron Man's
okay.
his story arc is over.
It's over, so he can play a different character now.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, when they unmask him,
He unmasked himself.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah.
He walked out.
took it off.
Yep.
Nerdgasm.
Ladies and gentlemen, as proof of the unimaginable possibilities in the Marvel multi-universe, we give you the one person who could play Victor Von Doom.
Nerdgasm.
Oh, yeah.
Unbelievable. Robert Downey Jr. Biggie's poo-pooing this. He's giving me a
I
hand
hate it.
signal. You don't like it?
I hate it. I think it's cheap. I think because the Marvel movies and series have sucked because of late, they have to do something like this. They're bringing back the same directors who did the last two Avengers movies, who were well liked.
Yeah.
I just think the whole thing screams desperation. There's apparently I'm over the Marvel stuff at this point, because with this multiverse, it gives them an unlimited way to make these stories work, where Iron Man can also be Doctor Doom.
That seems strange
because
to
they're
me.
going to flip to a different universe, and it's really getting deep into comic book like fodder now.
I see.
And it's getting, for the average person, I think it's getting hard to follow. And I just thought to myself, as soon as they revealed him, I thought, I'm out.
The cheap stunt.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Because he is a movie star.
Oh, no,
bona fide movie star.
I mean, listen, when it really came around, Iron Man was like, oh my
Game
God.
changer.
Everybody. And that one really put him on the, an enormous movie star level.
And, Disney has obviously owns Marvel, and they've tried with different series that were not very good. I just don't think the last couple Marvel movies have been very good. I think that...
Now, wait a minute. Deadpool Wolverine is a Marvel movie, right?
Yes.
Yes.
And it's getting good reviews, and
It is.
and it's killing it at the box office.
It's hard to explain in that, but it wasn't. It's a Marvel movie, but it wasn't owned by Disney till now. Basically, before it was a Fox thing. That's kind of saying goodbye to Fox World is what this movie's doing.
Okay.
But when I saw it was Robert Downey Jr., I just thought, I'll watch it when it comes to Disney. I'm not spending a dime to go see that thing.
That's been a penny on it. It's a cheap stunt.
You can have my money every month, but I shan't pay for the theater experience.
I will not pay for the
a
theater.
I'm not going to
breakdown,
shell an
Biggs.
extra money for it. I just thought they're desperate to try to bring something back.
Well, as someone who's not in this world at all, I thought, wait a minute, he is so known as the character Iron Man. How can you have the same actor playing a different character in the same Marvel universe? I don't understand that.
They also had a little issue, Marvel did, because their next big bad guy, the guy that was cast to be him, recently went through trial for domestic violence.
Who is that?
His name's Jonathan Majors.
Oh, I know that. I've heard about that.
And he was set up to be the next big bad guy in the Marvel world.
Mm-hmm.
Well, when he went to trial, he was dropped by basically everyone.
Oh,
They had big plans for his character.
Yeah.
Oh,
So then it became, well, what can we do? Can we just the character he plays has been in the comics in many different versions and forms, so they could get somebody else. But I feel like more they're going to try to pivot away from that.
Okay.
Or keep him in some way. But it's somebody I read a breakdown yesterday, like, well, in comic book number blah, 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 Tony Stark in a different universe is Doctor Doom.
Oh, I see.
Wow.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's but you're getting so far into it. I just feel like it's a stretch.
Well, he got a big reception there, though, didn't he?
Listen to it again.
Well, yeah.
Listen to that.
Ladies and gentlemen, as proof of the unimaginable possibilities in the Marvel multi-universe, we give you the one person who could play Victor Von Doom.
He speaks a little here as well. Robert Downey Jr.
New mask. Same task. What can I tell you? I like playing complicated characters.
He's back.
So back.
My God. They're going crazy on that.
He's up on that stage. Remember can you imagine what all that nerd breath is like cascading towards you?
Fantastic.
Sweetest fish.
Like a million souls exhale at once.
Diet Sprite breath.
Yes. Yes.